You may sing and speak about Easter week and the heroes of '98, of Fenian men who roamed the glen in victory or defeat, their names in history's pages told, their memory will endure. Not a song was sung of our darling sons in the valley of Lochanu.
The Easter Rising of 1916 was the first armed conflict between the Irish and the British since 1798. The Rising was a rebellion by some Irish nationalists against Britain. The rebellion was in planning for 1 year before it actually took place. In the years prior to the Rising, Britain and Ireland had discussions about the handover of Home Rule to the people of Ireland. Home Rule is the government of a colony-dependent country or region by its own citizens. However, with Britain's engagement in World War I, Home Rule discussions were pushed to the side and the idea for rebellion began to take root. The main idea was to take advantage of Britain's major commitment to World War I and hope that they would be unable to deal effectively with Ireland in the war in Europe at the same time. The rebellion was a failure and the Irish surrendered quickly, but the aftermath sparked a flame for the cause of Irish independence. On Good Friday, April 21st, 1916, the British Navy captured and scuttled the German cargo ship the Aud, which was carrying 20,000 rifles, machine guns, and ammunition for the rebels. Holy Saturday, April 22nd, 1916, Ian McNeill, a leader of the Irish Volunteers, upon hearing the news of the Aud's capture, tells the volunteers to stay home and not to fight because there would not be enough weapons. On Easter Sunday, April 23rd, 1916, James Connolly and Thomas Clark insist that the Rising go ahead the next day. Day 1 of the Rising, Easter Monday, April 24th, 1916. Rebellion begins. The General Post Office is captured and established as the headquarters. This intrusion into the life of the average Dubliner was initially treated as a nuisance. Patrick Pearse read the proclamation declaring an independent Ireland where all men, women, and children were equal. Rebels occupied several strategic locations around the city. Day 2 of the Rising. Tuesday, April 25th, 1916. British troops engaged the rebels at Stephen's Green and Boland's Mill. The British declared martial law in Dublin. Day 3 of the Rising. Wednesday, April 26, 1916. British reinforcements arrive. Rebels killed 234 British soldiers and ambush on Mount Street, the most successful military engagement by the rebels. Day 4 of the Rising. Thursday, April 27, 1916. British forces used artillery to pound rebel positions. Day 5 of the Rising. Friday, April 28, 1916. Much of Dublin is in chaos, with burnt-out cars, dead horses, and human corpses in the streets, and food is very scarce. The GPO is in flames as the rebels fall back. Sunday, April 30th, 1916. The rebellion is over. The rest of the rebels follow Pearse's order. 1,350 people are dead or wounded. Over 3,500 people are arrested. The aftermath. After court-martials, 14 rebels are executed by firing squads. Public opinion begins to turn against the British, and the movement for the Irish independence now begins to grow. The 7 men who signed the proclamation for Irish independence were all executed shortly after the
and the
rebellion
fight
was
was
over.
over. The moon shone down O'Connell Street. I stood alone where brave men perished. Those men have gone, their God to meet. My only son was shot in Dublin, fighting for his country bold. He fought for Ireland, and Ireland